Solitude is the portal leading to a life of meaning and a deep connection to your soul. Whether we define ourselves as seekers of solitude or are enforced into periods of loneliness by external forces, opening this portal means allowing ourselves to exist in the limitless territory of our inner world. How can solitude help better our present lives? Solitude can guide us to living a life of meaning through the understanding and exercise of our inner worlds. Solitude provides a unique chance to deeply connect with the human experience and gain profound understanding. Solitude connects us to our spirituality, and this gives us the understanding that we are all connected. The power of solitude does not separate us, it unites us to our highest purpose. It also has the power to awaken the creative genius that lies dormant within us all. In this video, we'll explore the power of solitude as a potent tool for connecting with our inner world, unleashing creativity, nurturing our spirituality, and most importantly, establishing a deeper connection with our soul. Loneliness and solitude. Are they truly one and the same? This question often arises when pondering the distinction between the two. Solitude and loneliness may seem similar at first, but they are actually quite different. Solitude is when you choose to be alone and enjoy your own company, whereas loneliness is when you feel alone and disconnected. Even when you are surrounded by people, solitude can be a positive experience as it facilitates self-reflection, creativity, and spirituality. In comparison, loneliness can be described as a distressing experience of absence that prevents one from fully experiencing oneself. Solitude is a pleasant experience of stillness, silence, lightness, power, and energy that leads to openness, freedom, authenticity of self, and deeper feelings of connection. Solitude can empower you to pursue and achieve your goals, giving you a sense of freedom and independence. Solitude is a state of social disengagement characterized by decreased inhibitions and increased freedom to choose activities. There is an ever-present seeking and yearning in human beings for fulfillment, affirmation, and discovering oneself. Our culture today promotes and encourages a technical achievement-oriented success-based mentality, which is focused on doing, achieving, producing, and seeing results for our work and activities. These accomplishments create a shield around us, protecting our ego and sustaining and nourishing our self-esteem, but we are never satisfied and we continue to search at a fanatical and hectic pace. Why? Perhaps the answer lies in the realization that the illusory world we have built around ourselves is not the source of our happiness and fulfillment, and that it will not satisfy the longing within us. Only when we take the risk to let go and begin to chip away at the shield, to delve into the depths of our own being, into the solitude of our hearts in simplicity and silence, will we find unity and wholeness of being with ourselves, with nature, and with other human beings. This does not mean that every person should give up their achievements and success, but rather to recognize that the true source of happiness and fulfillment lies within us and not in the external world. Solitude, or being alone, has a certain mysterious and unknown quality that makes it desirable for some, while for others, the thought of being alone or feeling alone is frightening and undesirable. During this journey towards this ultimate moment, a person travels both alone and with others. As a member of a community, the quality of this community and the compassion and understanding he brings to his relationships on the journey will depend on the depth and quality of his moments of solitude with himself and his innermost being. When a person becomes aware of their own individuality, it allows them to connect with others on a deeper level. This connection takes place in the heart, at the core of their being, where personal growth and the development of meaningful relationships occur. Solitude can be a difficult word to define, and it's not the same as loneliness. Loneliness can be associated with feelings of unwanted and emptiness. It can weigh down on our minds and our bodies. In comparison, solitude can oftentimes be called the untold power. The term solitude is frequently employed to represent various ideas like loneliness, isolation, withdrawal, remoteness, seclusion, aramat, and emptiness, each adding their own unique nuances to the core concept. However, these interpretations can sometimes stretch the meaning to the extent of creating misleading equivalences. Solitude comes from sol, which means singular, unique, alone, and the Latin etude, meaning a state of. Why would anyone want to embrace solitude in today's world? It is difficult if not impossible for some to imagine choosing to endure, much less enjoy moments of solitude. For them, being solitary is almost synonymous with being a hermit, one who withdraws from the companionship of friends, of society and its pleasures, and seeks out a barren, forsaken desert in which to suffer and eventually die. The concept of solitude can be misleading and frightening, and not without its own risks and fears because of these fears. Many avoid spending time alone by seeking continual distractions of some kind, such as watching TV, scrolling on their phone, or anything that will fill the void. Yet, according to Thomas Merton, his attitude is a contradiction in writing on solitude. He says, "Every man is a solitary, held firmly by the inexorable limitations of his own aloneness. Death makes this very clear, for when a man dies, he dies alone. The presence of many living men around the deathbed of one who is in agony may unite them all in the mystery of death. But it also unites them in a mystery of living solitude, is the fear of the connection between solitude and death. What makes the word solitude misleading to people today in today's world? The continuous advancements in technology and scientific knowledge have led people to be distracted and disconnected from what really matters as people become more engrossed in the digital realm and rely heavily on technology. They often find themselves mentally preoccupied and emotionally detached from their surroundings and, more importantly, from themselves. Man is wearing blinders. He no longer sees nature in itself as a revelation of creation, as a beauty to be cherished and enjoyed. He is too absorbed by the external world, seeking to alleviate his gnawing hunger. Man resorts to sex, drugs, alcohol, having more people around him, more social gatherings, anything to help him cope with the pain. But these are only superficial and never reach the inmost being of man himself. Staying busy becomes a distraction from facing our truth. Self-isolation, even for a short time, can seem radical. That's why the necessity for seeking solitude and introspection is particularly crucial in the present-day world. When you see someone in the distance, you may initially be able to determine only that they are a woman and not a man. As they get closer, you start to notice that they are fair-skinned rather than dark-skinned, young rather than old. But it's not until they get much closer that you realize it's Mary and not Jane. At each step, you are able to recognize certain characteristics, female, fair-skinned, young, and eliminate others, male, dark-skinned, old, until you know it's Mary. This process of differentiation is achieved by gradually isolating Mary from the broader perceptual field in doing so, you make her stand out on her own, distinct from everything. She is not as a unique individual existing in her own right by withdrawing from the world and isolating yourself in solitude. You can gain a clearer understanding of what sets you apart from others. This self-imposed separation affirms your existence and allows you to better comprehend your own identity and purpose in life. Solitude liberates you from societal influences, enabling you to become independent and discover your own path and voice. Gamma's final instruction to his community was this: be islands to yourselves. Let yourselves be your only refuge. Let the Dharma be your island. Let the Dharma be your only refuge. An island is a piece of dry land rising above yet surrounded by water. It is both isolated and insulated by integrating the values and practices of the Dharma into your life. You create a refuge from turmoil, a solitude where you can dwell in non-reactive emptiness of mind. This solitude is nirvana itself, a lucid space of freedom where you can respond to the world without being flooded by reactive desires, hatreds, fears, and opinions. In other words, solitude offers clarity and the mental space to introspect, think, and reflect on things that matter to you without distractions, and to plan your next steps. Solitude helps one to reconnect with their own values and goals and to understand themselves better. And this helps one make better decisions regarding the direction of their own lives. Spending time alone allows me to stay connected with my own desires and goals even when I am surrounded by others. That's why I make it a point to have several hours of solitude every day. It gives me the opportunity to reflect on my life and where I want to go in the future. Sometimes I need to go weeks without much social contact to figure things out and make decisions that are best for me and the people I care about. This extended period of solitude helps me clarify my next steps based on my long-term goals, values, and priorities. so I can make important decisions confidently by removing myself from distractions. I can focus on my inner thoughts. Once I have gained clarity, I will re-engage with a clear understanding of what needs to be done. And more importantly, why I'm doing it. Solitude provides the mental space to align thoughts, emotions, and actions with one's true self and values without interference or distractions from the outside world. It allows me to stay true to myself and live a purposeful life with confidence in being alone. The key to creativity, the majority of poets, novelists, composers, and to a lesser extent, painters and sculptors find themselves spending a significant amount of their time in solitude. Despite the common belief that intimate relationships are the primary if not sole source of human happiness, the lives of creative individuals often defy this notion. Developing creative talents such as practicing musical instruments, painting, or writing, poetry seems to rely on the capacity to be alone. In the 1960s, psychologist Frank X. Barron conducted a study involving renowned creators such as Truman Capote, Carlos Williams, and Frank O'Connor, as well as prominent figures in architecture, science, entrepreneurship, and mathematics. Barron aimed to identify a shared characteristic among these diverse creative minds. Barron discovered that the most innovative thinkers possessed several common traits. These included a willingness to explore their inner thoughts and emotions, a fondness for complexity and ambiguity, an exceptional tolerance for disorder, and the ability to find order amidst the chaos to enhance creativity and generate innovative ideas. It is recommended to let your mind wander, imagine new possibilities, and silence your inner critic. Essentially, the key is to block out external distractions and focus inwardly. We live in structured environments that shape our identities and stories. When these influences change or are removed, our mental structures are also affected, allowing for new ways of thinking. This can enhance creativity by encouraging us to engage with alternative realities, to fully immerse ourselves in an alternative identity. We need to let go of certain ways of thinking that are tied to time, self-experience, and social norms. Solitude can provide cognitive traits that help us transition from social settings to potentially creative realms. Solitude facilitates not only spiritual insight, but also an undisturbed, deeper knowledge of self. Solitude connects us to our spirituality. And this gives us the understanding that we are all connected. It unites us to our highest purpose. Human beings easily become alienated from their own deepest needs and feelings, losing touch with their inner soul. Discovering who you truly are at your core and understanding what ignites your soul is made possible through moments of solitude. It is in our solitude that we discover the depths of our soul. Solitude is often associated with enhanced spirituality. As documented cases have shown, religious mystics and prophets such as Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, and Moses have reported experiencing divine communion during solitary moments. Solitary meditation is a common practice among nuns, monks, and devotees of various religions and tribal cultures. Adolescents go through solitary quests to achieve higher levels of consciousness as part of their rites of passage. The connection between solitude and spirituality has been extensively researched in religious solitaries from various cultural backgrounds. When individuals experience relative freedom from social constraints and lowered inhibition in solitude, they can focus on spiritual matters. Solitude enhances their ability to contemplate their position in the universe and their own thoughts and desires. Both Taoists and Christian hermits value solitude, as it replaces the distorting pressures of society with the healing power of nature, which allows for insight, freedom, and creative self-transformation in the hustle and bustle of modern life. Finding moments of solitude can be challenging, yet many renowned spiritual leaders, philosophers, and thinkers have emphasized its significance. Henry David Thoreau, an American transcendentalist philosopher, spent 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days in a small cabin near Walden Pond. During this period of solitude, Thoreau immersed himself in nature, practiced introspection, and wrote about his experiences. His reflections culminated in the book Walden, which has inspired generations to seek spiritual enlightenment through solitude. Thoreau's experiment serves as a timeless example of how solitude in nature can lead to spiritual insights in the early Christian tradition. The Desert Fathers and Mothers sought spiritual enlightenment through isolation in the harsh desert landscapes. These ascetic individuals such as Saint Anthony the Great and Saint Mary of Egypt retreated to the solitude of the deserts, engaging in deep contemplation and prayer. Their solitary lifestyles became an inspiration for future generations of spiritual seekers, highlighting the transformative power of isolation in the pursuit of enlightenment in today's fast-paced world. Many individuals turn to yoga and meditation to explore their spirituality and achieve mindfulness. Yogis often emphasize the importance of solitude in meditation practices by spending time in seclusion away from distractions. Practitioners can delve into their inner selves, cultivating a deeper connection to their soul. At first, many people find it difficult to practice being alone with themselves. In fact, it may require some effort to break away from old habits and establish new ones. However, once you incorporate solitude into your daily routine and dedicate time to it regularly, you will experience positive effects on your mental health in a world that is constantly connected. It is important not to underestimate the value of spending time alone. It can be a powerful tool for promoting mental and emotional well-being, creativity, and personal growth. Solitude is more than just being alone. It is a way of being that requires cultivation. It is an art that requires mental training to refine and stabilize. Practicing solitude means dedicating yourself to the care of your soul. Quiet moments of contemplation, whether in front of a work of art or while focusing on your breath, can help you reflect on what matters most in your life. Solitude is an inescapable part of being human, and it allows us, whether we are devout believers or atheists, to confront and explore existential questions. You might wonder, how can I incorporate solitude into my life? Here are a few methods to approach it when you're alone and practicing solitude. Number 1. Self-reflection. Use this time of solitude to engage in self-reflection. Take the opportunity to reflect on your life beliefs and the bigger philosophical questions that matter to you. By removing distractions, you can create space for clear thinking, which can help you gain deeper self-awareness and clarity. Consider using a journal to write down your thoughts, beliefs, and ideas. You might also want to create a calming atmosphere by listening to some soothing music and lighting a candle. This will help you focus and make the most of your introspective time. Number 2. Spend time in nature. Immerse yourself in nature to refresh your mind and creativity. Nature's calmness and beauty inspire new ideas and bring peace. The soothing sounds and sights like flowing water and blooming flowers create a peaceful atmosphere, helping you forget worries and focus on the present being in nature grounds. Making you aware of the moment and allows your creativity to flourish. Disconnect from technology. Go outdoors and let nature inspire and calm you, guiding you to a more balanced life. Number 3. Embark on projects. Use this period of seclusion to immerse yourself in projects that bring you joy. Commit to tasks that captivate your attention without external distractions. Cultivate a state of flow and let your creativity flourish. Start a new painting, brainstorm ideas for a new book, or initiate groundwork for that new business. You've been meaning to start these projects. Act as anchors, keeping you grounded in purpose and creativity during prolonged isolation. Number 4. Find happiness in little things. Learn to appreciate life's simple pleasures like listening to music or taking a walk, feeling the warmth of the sun or the breeze on your face. Embrace these moments of joy by staying fully present, observing your surroundings and grounding yourself in the present moment. Practice gratitude for the beauty in everyday experiences, anchoring yourself in the richness of the moment. Finding a connection within solitude is essential. As a society, we need connection the most. But in order to truly connect with others, we must first connect with ourselves. This connection is often found in true solitude, not in loneliness or isolation. It requires actively being present with our thoughts and emotions in a kind and loving way, listening to our hearts and minds and embracing them without judgment. By mindfully examining our thoughts and emotions, we can start to identify thought patterns and habits that may go unnoticed when we are surrounded by others but not present with loving kindness in the quiet depths of solitude. We often find the loudest echoes of our true selves as we conclude this journey into self-discovery. Remember that solitude isn't merely the absence of noise. It's the presence of one's essence. Embrace these moments alone as opportunities for growth, reflection, and transformation. In the embrace of solitude, we uncover the boundless power within. So go forth with newfound wisdom, cherish the moments of quiet, and let the strength of your solitude illuminate your path. May your journey be filled with self-awareness, creativity, and the profound peace that comes from understanding the depth of your own being. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of self. Remember, in the serenity of solitude, you have found not just solitude but a profound connection with your truest self. Embrace it, honor it, and let it guide you toward a life of authenticity and fulfillment. Take care until next time.